President Donald Trump and White House officials are aggressively selling the success of the U.S. bombing of Iran's nuclear facilities. Joining us now is Washington correspondent Alice Barr. And Alice, the president's team was on Capitol Hill yesterday briefing senators. What came out of those meetings?
So they were closed briefings, so we don't have a lot of information, and everybody who walked out was very careful to not talk about anything that was classified. But there were some Republicans, Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, who has certainly been supportive of military action in Iran. He said, quote, "No one's going to work at these sites anytime soon." There's been a lot, of course, public reporting about how bad the damage is there, and he was backing that up, that he believes certainly the damage at the nuclear sites in Iran was bad enough. No one's walking in there to push any buttons anytime soon. One leading Democrat pointing to past intelligence from before the briefings about what may remain. This is Senator Mark Warner, who's the top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee. He said that some of the enriched uranium was never going to be taken out by a bunker-busting bomb. So again, referencing information that he had previously, he's raising concerns about what may remain of Iran's nuclear capabilities and whether they could try to rebuild that program, and he's urging diplomacy to prevent any future Iranian nuclear threat from redeveloping.
Gotcha. The White House is planning to restrict intelligence sharing after some leaks from the intelligence agency. What are lawmakers reacting to that? How are they reacting to those leaks?
Yeah, so they're talking about the White House, and we're hearing this from a senior White House official to NBC News, that the administration plans to limit intelligence sharing with lawmakers because of that initial damage assessment that leaked. And that is what the White House has been working so hard to counter, because it included information that the nuclear sites may only have been, or that the nuclear program may only have been set back by some 3 to 6 months. And White House officials have said it was selectively leaked, and that other information that said that the damage may have been more serious was not included in the leaks. And so they are also saying, the White House press secretary said that the FBI is going to look into the source of the leaks. But in the meantime, they're talking about restricting this access. And there are a number of lawmakers, also Senator Warner, who I mentioned there before, on the Intelligence Committee, who are raising serious concerns about that, saying that's not allowed. It's not legal to not share important information with Congress, and that there's nothing saying that it was a member of Congress or even a staff member of a Congress member who did that initial leak, that there would have been other people potentially within the administration that could have put that information out. So they are certainly not happy. They thought it took too long to get them any information about what was happening in Iran to begin with, and they don't want to see that kind of information curbed going forward.
Gotcha. All right, Alice, has there been any credible movement toward the proposed meeting the president mentioned between the U.S. and Iran?
Not at this point. Yeah, he said, we shared that yesterday, that he said that somebody from his administration, he was not specific, but he said, we are going to meet with Iran next week, and said it in a pretty declarative way. But Iran has not confirmed anything at this point, and the White House press secretary asked about that yesterday, said that there was no meeting scheduled at this point. But that goes back to what Senator Warner was saying, that there still needs to be some level of diplomacy to make sure that there's not an opportunity for Iran to press forward, and specifically to try to keep inspectors on the ground in Iran to have kind of an open door policy to what's happening with their nuclear program, and not have them go underground and, go completely off the radar with what they're doing.
Gotcha. NBC's Alice Barr joining us this morning, and thanks for joining us, Alice.